Why the fuck are they called Garys?
I don't know.
Don't worry, we don't have the whiskey yet.
I have been part of, like, since we're on like LitRPG, I have been part of LitRPG like Zoom calls where whiskey was very much being consumed by all of us. Obviously not the same whiskey, but it was just like, hey, we all have it. Let's imbibe while we chat on this Zoom or whatever the hell it was.
Sometimes, especially around like 4 o'clock, it doesn't matter the day, or time zone. You see like a few people and it's just like starts like you're like, that looks like alcoholic grape juice, and they're like, damn freaking right it is. And then you just like
it is.
other people just like start appearing. They're like, that Coca-Cola is looking a little lighter today.
yeah. Not very opaque, that Coca-Cola you have there. Nope, it's gonna stay that way.
Didn't Coca-Cola make clear Coke?
I think if they didn't, Pepsi did. Someone definitely made a blue one. Because I believe I drank it at a point in my life. But there was, oh my God, sorry now to stop this. Brian J. Norton is playing a game that I'm in. And he has said, playing Lost Eidolons, and had to stop and be like, who let that gobshite voice a character? 2 characters, Brian? 2 characters? I'm the Raven as well. They did Coke Crystal, says Jessica Wargo.
Yeah, it's Coke Clear, which looks like Sprite and is terrifying. It just doesn't. Okay, it's normal Coca-Cola, just has none of the caramel ingredient, and instead has lemon flavor. So is it just Sprite?
Wait, so they're saying it's clear Coke with no caramel flavor, that's how Coke tastes. And then it tastes like citrus or lemon, which is like, they're rebranding Sprite and just like, it's clear Coke. Look at it.
Guess where it's from?
Clear Coke?
Yeah, guess which country came up with this?
It's never Ireland, is it? We're not that, but they wouldn't let us. Is it Canada?
No.
I don't know.
It's a country dear to your heart, and they make a lot of different flavors of things for no reason at all.
What country makes Oreos?
I
thought so.
That is Will White's favorite snack.
Oreos?
Oreos, loves them.
I mean, if you're going for variety, there's surely like a Thanksgiving dinner Oreo that you can like, this is my savory for the month.
I was talking to him, and I think that his brother chimed in and said that there's at least like 4 to 6 packs in the house at any given time.
Oh my God, that's delicious, but a lot. That's a lot. Even for me, that's a lot. Jessica says Japan.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, 2018 in Japan. Yeah. The description is not good. It is, the drink was lemon flavored to compensate for the removed caramel. So it's just
lemon is caramel?
Right. Yeah.
That's a very embarrassing fact for me, because I lived in Japan in 2018. I should have known this.
You were part of the wave.
I was there when they came up with the idea. Japan was like, hey guys, clear Coke, what do you think? We're like, yeah, do that. Put lemon in it for the caramel, you know?
And it's like, oh? The rest of the world is extremely confused.
Yeah. Brian says he loves how my setup makes me look tall. I forget compared to Brian. I'm decently tallish, right, sir? Can you can't even access my camera? I can't. It's way behind there.
I think everyone. Were you on your tippy toes?
No, but my booth is so short. It was like a custom designed one, and I thought, I'll always sit when I narrate, always. That has not been the case for many years. So now if I like get animated in the booth, I have to be careful not to like bash my head off the roof.
I'm Gary Furlong, world famous narrator, neck injury from bouncing his head off the ceiling.
Because he was so tall.
You can't really say it's really short, but I fit in it, because then by association, you'd be short, right?
I mean, yeah. I like to say I'm 6 foot. I don't look too hard into the measurements. Like, I measure myself a few times where 6 foot's been the number. It's like, I'm good to just leave it there. Was I in shoes? I can't remember. Oh.
I got called out by my girlfriend of like, she's like, you're not 6 foot tall. And I was like, yeah, I'm 6 foot dead. I have nothing I need to prove here.
They're just like,
and she's like, no. And I literally just gave her like the measuring tape and stood. And then she like She like looked at it. She was like, no. She like examined the measuring tape to make sure it wasn't faulty. Then like started it at like 2 inches and then did it again. She's like, what the hell? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just 6 foot dead.
Well,
But I do know that Brian and 71.
you're 71 on the nose. 71, and you read it wrong, right? It's 71 and 3/4 exactly. Certainly not 71 and a half. Because that wouldn't be 6 foot now, would it? Why do I have one of these in here? Well, just get in the comments and let us know. It better not be an embarrassing idea you have. Nicole in Florida, who thought you were short because you were only ever standing beside myself, Ben and Rob. Was this you?
Yeah. But it was Brian and Ryan, you know, one word removed, those two. I think Brian's 6'4", and I think Ryan's 6'7" or something like
My
that.
goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing. What happened in the water of LitRPG writers and audiobook narrators? Everyone's freaking tall.
A lot of people are tall. I remember it, yeah.
It's like you go in and you're just like, huh, that's a surprise. Like statistically, everyone is around like 6 foot or below. It mostly like 5'8", 5'10".
Right.
And it's like LitRPG authors. I think the average is probably like 6'3" or something. And you're like, oh, okay.
That's too tall. That's not fair.
Well, they're just drinking kind of different oxygen up there.
I remember it was one of the first times I ever met Justin Thomas James from Sound
Oh,
Booth,
yeah.
and was like, you're very tall. You're very, very tall. But my brother-in-law is 6'9", so it's very difficult to find people who I find are like super, super tall, but yeah, most people are taller than me, which I don't appreciate.
I did find it funny so Justin Thomas and Ryan DeBruin live in Canada, and we were on a plane going to
Nice.
Dragon Con one time, and Justin and I find out that we are in the seats next to one another. So of course we're just drinking gin and tonics the entire time on the way.
Yeah.
Ryan had to go to the bathroom. And you know those planes where it's one seat and then two seats, and then there's just the aisle in between? He folded himself into that bathroom backwards because he could not go into it forwards and turn around to get onto the toilet. So he just had to like limbo in. And he was like, apparently his chin was just on the ceiling.
Oh no.
He's like, I think I hit it. I don't know. I'm just going by auditory senses while I'm in here. I was like, fair enough.
He took his shoes off to make sure he could feel any mishaps.
Justin was there just nodding. He's like drinking and nodding, having flashbacks. And I'm just like, okay, I don't want to be that tall. That doesn't sound like a pleasant experience to me anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the Mile High Club is a myth, because those bathrooms, you can barely get in there to do the thing it's designed for. Never mind these acrobatic movements that must be needed to become part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah, I like if you fart in there, you are just unconscious for the next 15 minutes. It's not someone closing the toilet on the lid. It's like, no, he's still standing, but he's going to be a few minutes to deoxygenate himself and get back in there.
Goodness gracious. What are we here for? LitRPG? Do you know anything about that?
10 years of LitRPG. Yeah.
That feels... It's a long time, but for a genre, it's not a long time.
But you know what? I think the interesting thing with LitRPG is like a lot of people thought that it was going to go the same as like Westerns and with metahumans. Do you remember that period where metahumans was massive?
I think is this around, like, how long ago was this? Because I came into audiobooks 2014, 2015, and I had never done I'd done a few metahuman books, but not a ton. And I wonder, did I miss the wave of it, or just did I not catch the wave?
Well, I think it was just ending at that point in time.
Right.
I want to say like probably like 2010. Now I'm pulling numbers out of my behind on this one, but I want to say like 2010, 2013, 14. It was like going, and then it was like it just really quickly fell off. And then as that fell off, LitRPG kind of had its rise. I think the interesting part is with Westerns and with LitRPG, with metahumans, is like it's kind of like narrow band, whereas like LitRPG have every genre possible mashed up with LitRPG. You know, you have the classic debates that happen of like, it's not really a debate anymore. People are just like, whatever, leave it be. But like, it used to be, would you define LitRPG? I remember going to cons and they're like, what is LitRPG? Actually, I still get that. There's a famous video that Brian shot, where I am not good at poker face.
Okay.
Yeah. And Brian recorded this video and it asked, what is LitRPG? And I about near slapped myself upside the face, it looks like, and just was like, oh God, okay, cool. Yeah.
With
We're
this
gonna go
shit
for it.
again. Excuse
Yeah.
the swearing. We'll see if anyone comments like don't do that, we'll know. And if they don't, we can say fuck all we want.
Yeah. Well, I found the video. I'm gonna send you it.
I just know that for this to work, I can't look at the video in Chrome. Facebook has given us some good technical challenges, everyone. This seems to be working. So we're gonna be careful. We'll definitely look at that soon. Video's still up.
Yeah, don't break it. Don't break it. We've got it. We established a balance here. But yeah, like LitRPG, it has lasted really long, and I think you could see that it's going to last a good long while. It's
Yeah, sorry.
no.
I was just going to add, like, agree with exactly what you're saying.
We were talking about it before of like how many mediums it's crossed over into now,
Yeah.
right? It's like it started off very ebook heavy, and now like it's not normal for many genres to have audiobook as like it's a normal thing to have that as phase one.
Right, yeah.
But with LitRPG, it's like, oh, well, you're going to have the ebook, the audiobook, and it's not even a question about the two. And so it
You
means,
gotta have both.
yeah, because listeners are as ravenous as readers. But yeah, that's grown, and then we now have, you know, Webtoons, webcomics that are coming
Yeah.
out. That's really cool.
That feels like one of
Then
the few
there's
areas LitRPG is going that no other, well, not other book genres aren't necessarily going to stuff like Webtoon. Whereas we talked earlier about actual play TV shows, and like one that I really like is called Dimension 20, and that has its own Webtoon. And it
mhm.
feels like, well, that's a LitRPG, D&D. I mean, they're they're so similar, cut from the same cloth, and that seems to be, Webtoon seems to like that kind of content. Whereas I think romance will also do that if it hasn't already. I'm sure there's plenty of romance graphic novels, whatever. But it feels like if as malleable as LitRPG is as a genre, it's in my head very similar to romance, because every book can be a romance. You can have sci-fi, you can have LitRPG, and it can be a romance as well. But then, so you can
The
just flip
rule
those around. Anything can be LitRPG as well.
isn't it the internet's rule number 34?
Rule 30. Oh. Everyone Google that right
Okay.
now. Google Rule 34 and just put in two terms. Any two terms. Don't do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And like I think, yeah, like we've gone into Webtoons. Now we've got like there's books getting put into bookstores, which like it's huge
Yeah.
because like that's a total self-published thing of
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to go to the big five to get that stuff done normally.
Right.
And then Athon's opened up the doorway in their way, and some other companies have opened up it in different ways. But yeah, to get a book into bookstores is really cool. But now, like
Absolutely.
the challenge is like the next year or two is, you know, going, hey, like mobilizing everyone to go and get those books out of bookstores. Because if they do that, then that support in the bookstores makes the bookstores order more of those books, present it to more people, spread the love of LitRPG everywhere. And that's massive because still so many books are sold as physical copies. Like it's quite, it's quite nice to have.
I mean, you would think like a Barnes and Noble, big corporation though they are, shouldn't be able to exist if Amazon is the only place one buys one's books. But yet, I love going to Barnes and Nobles, like, or Barnes and Noble, or any bookshop, and it's just like, it is nice to be here and hold this book thing. It's just, yeah, I'm very happy that still happens. And you can even buy, and like, I don't think many people do, but like you can buy the CD-ified audiobooks. Some of them you can get in Barnes and Noble, which is like analog media. I feel like is kind of making a little bit of a comeback in certain areas. Like people have never forgotten vinyl. I think people have always liked, and even with CD and whatever MP3, it's like no, I still would like a big disc of vinyl, please, which is reassuring.
Makes me think of the that there's that weapon in Fallout, isn't it, where it just like shoots off the chainsaw blades.
Oh, does
I
it?
always just think of it as the vinyl things. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be fun.
There,
But no, yeah, I think the analog stuff, like also like collectibles. Collectibles have been
yeah.
huge. Yeah. And like spin-offs for stuff now. Like it's crazy. Well, but the thing is like it's 10 years. And it's also like we've got one awesome community of people.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I've never seen so many drunks in one place. And it is the most extroverted group of introverts when together.
I was at a convention called Queers and Quills earlier this year, and I was talking to a bunch of authors who were all like, "Oh, we're such introverts." And in my head, I was like, "Y'all aren't introverts. Like, you're so bubbly." And so, but it was like, and it kind of clicked in my head that like, "Oh, wait, these people are introverts. They're just extroverts when they're around people they're very comfortable with." And it really clicked. It's just like that's what we do at like LitRPG Con or any of the conventions we're at. It's like, my people are here. These people I know how to like be around and can be very comfortable and very like extroverted with, which is very,
Imbibing,
yeah.
imbibing copious amounts of alcohol.
Hey, man.
Whoops. Mhm.
Oops.
Social lubricant. It's like fucking Power Rangers, you know? Oh yeah. Like where you have like, we're united, we're stronger together. It's like,
With
oh
wisdom, we're
god.
stronger together.
Yeah, and it's just all the little RPG authors just like come out of their shells. It's like
Yeah, just like,
the narrators are just like,
what?
"Did you spell that better?" And you're like, "God damn it."
One of my biggest fears as a narrator is going to an author and just being like, "So, how do you pronounce this?" And they go, "I don't fucking know." And just like, "What do you mean you don't know? Can I do it any way I want then?" If they say yes, then it's like the best thing ever. But to have a word and just be like, "There's a lot of consonants in a row in that word. How do we say it?"
Yeah. The there is yeah, I have talked to some narrators and they're like, "Brother, that book." And I was like, "Oh," and they're like, "This one word, I've never seen this word before, but I am cursed to now have it at least 17 times in every single book, no matter." It's like the Stephen Fry curse, right?
Pocketed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, this doesn't work."
I find in my own experience anyway, the word machinations isn't right. It's machinations, which I've literally never heard anyone say. But if I say machinations in a book, it'll always come back, Gary, that's machinations.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind. Jessica asks, what's the most embarrassing word I've ever mispronounced? One that comes like straight to mind. I was doing a fantasy romantasy book, I suppose it was, where girl from Earth gets transported to alternate dimension Earth. And there is a brand of clothing industry called Lululemon in that place. I'd never heard of Lululemon, so I said Lululemon. And the proofers had a good time with me on that one. But I didn't know it was a place. So I don't know if that's the most embarrassing, but it's one of that stuck out.
It's one of the precepts of Lycra.
You what?
Is that's the material that the that the pants are made out of. It's a Canadian company. It's
Is
like
it
one
really?
of our biggest. Yeah, it's a massive Canadian company. It's in Vancouver.
Then there's surely a basis for Lululemon, like French Canadian, maybe, no.
It's literally on the opposite side of the country.
Damn.
Which is like 7,000 kilometers away.
Canada's so big.
Yeah.
I have family that came to visit Texas, which is where I'm based. And my
Mhm.
brother-in-law was like, maybe we'll rent a car and go drive to the Grand Canyon one day. And I was like, my guy, that's a multi-day trip. In Ireland, you can pretty much hop in the car and go mostly anywhere and back. Maybe Wexford to Derry, where I'm from, like Wexford all up to Derry. 6 hours-ish, maybe, I don't know. It's probably the longest you're going to get. Unless Brian gets in the comments and is like, what are you talking about, Gary?
Yeah, no, I was talking to my cousin, like, and they were like, "Oh yeah," like, they're talking about a very long drive in the morning. I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, like how long did you drive in the morning?" 20 minutes to get to the train. I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "Yeah." And then it's 15 minutes. We got to go in the underground and all this. I'm like, "Oh,
Unacceptable.
do you know what 20 minutes gets me? Gets me outside. It just goes from inside to outside of town." And they're like, And like, how far would work be away if you're like going to Toronto? I'm like 2 hours, 3 if there's traffic. And
Yeah.
they're like, what about trains? I'm like, yeah, what about 'em?
We got him, I'm sure. I just got back from a convention yesterday that was in San Antonio, which is a 5-hour drive from where I live. And both my wife and I were like, that's a decent drive. Like, we could do that. Let's not fly. Let's do the drive. Because in Texas, in 5 hours, you're still well in Texas. You're not anywhere close to leaving it. And 5 hours is just like, you know what? That's not too bad. Let's do it.
So, question though, how are Texan drivers?
So good. They abide by all the rules. Wow, what skilled drivers they are in Texas. The worst I've ever seen. Yeah, he's just telling us like, they were good, boy. It's absolutely diabolically bad. Like, and they all drive 50s, gigantic trucks, and they're all super clean, so they don't use them for work. All that towing capacity, wasted. Yeah,
Lift kits, right?
Like the size.
They're all white too.
A white F-150 that is clean makes me angry. It's like, that is a work vehicle, sir, and you have it pristine, and you're driving in the city. Then you complain about gas prices. How dare you?
I will say, okay, driven in a lot of places.
Right.
Driven in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
The worst is Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's because there's so many drivers from so many different places. Because if you're in Arizona, no one is actually from Arizona. Everyone's transplanted from someone else to Arizona. And like, at least in Phoenix and Scottsdale, it is dodge 'em. Like, you're just like,
Yeah.
oh! There is like 3 corners I know where every single time it is in a state of in an accident just happened, or an accident is happening. There it is. When that intersection is clear, so fast. But because it is in the state of accident, if you are between the hours of 7 and 7, there was 5 accidents there one day.
God,
I like
snake of traffic all the way back.
I think there was a Subway next to it. I think the cops just go to Subway. By the time they finish like having breakfast or whatever, to back out again. They're like, oh,
just like, no, not yet. Nope, there it is.
Yeah. Just, excellent. Excellent.
Speaking of cars, 2 questions. Do you listen to audiobooks, not necessarily your own? And if you do, where do you listen to them? Do you listen to them in the car? Because that is such a common place for audiobook listening.
I'm not as big of an audiobook listener. Well, actually, I can't say that. I do listen to like, if there's like something that's dense, like information wise, and I need to get through it, I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But like, it's very much whenever I have space for it. So it's like, okay, I need to go and grab groceries or something. So I'll just put it in my earphones. Or it's like, oh, I'm just going to go for a walk. Well, it takes time to get here to there. Just listen to it.
That is literally the same way I do audiobooks now. Before becoming a narrator, it was audiobooks all day, every day. But since doing it, it is, when do I have the time to do it? Driving to get groceries, just going for a walk. I will say, one of the best ways to listen to an audiobook while out is with bone conduction headphones. I don't know if you've heard of or used them.
I was seeing glasses with bone conduction.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like them. The sound quality is trash, but you can, like, hear stuff. So if, I don't know, a car is coming or something like that, you can, like, oh, no, there's a car coming. I'm not going to.
Yeah, 150.
What are you doing? It's like walking on the footpath, sir. Like I'm supposed to. No, in my road.
My tire fits there.
If I fits, I drive.
That's just so much Truck-kun.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so it is funny of like, for this genre being going on so long, of like the things that have risen and fallen, or like beams and stuff that were like hidden in the sides. There's a time period where there's like horned rabbits.
Okay.
And so there was just a period where every author was like, oh, well, we're going to just throw horned rabbits in here. And it's like, that was going on, or people have like cameos for other authors as they come in. Hey, I'm just gonna use your name, throw that in here. Brian's keeping that alive with Quest Academy. And then Truck-kun, it was like,
is it like
truck -kun.
Okay. There's a very important letter missing from that would make it.
Not going to go into that.
Let's not do it. Please continue.
But from the land of Japan. But I think it literally is because of in Japan, they were like, oh, what's the fastest way to do it? Just keep the hitting them with cars. Just like, like that. Which, okay, vehicular manslaughter is apparently incredibly high in Japan if this is the thing going on.
Sure, I hope not. So it's,
No,
wait, is it derived from Japanese?
I think so.
Okay.
Because it was like a common trope of like, hey, I'm going to get isekai'd or reincarnated. I'm going to get hit by a car. I'm like,
okay. So in my head, that would be pronounced like Truck-kun, which is like, it's like san. Like they would say Gari-san or Gari-kun, or like if I was very high up, Gari-sama. No one would ever call me Gari-sama. But kun is just like a young man. Like it's the suffix you would put onto the end of like Chatfield-kun. It's like young man just going about town. And be called Truck-kun.
It's just a young truck. It's just a young truck with many lives to.
But I can imagine if you were in a Japan-esque world, you were isekai'd into that, and they're like, how did you die? It's like, I was hit by a truck. Ah, Truck-kun! Ah, yokoso! Koshi ni kite kudasai! Zannen da ne! Truck de shinda. Gomen ne. Like, I used to live in Japan, people. I miss it I can't speak it for crap anymore. And I'm reminded of that every time I try. It's like, God damn it. Use it or lose it, and I have lost it.
How fluent were you?
I lived there for a total of 5 odd years, 6 total if you take in my study abroad for school, and like, I could get by, and like being an actor, mimicry I'm quite good at mimicking things, so I could sound like, I feel like my pronunciation was quite good, but my grammar was never brilliant. And my comprehension was never brilliant. But I could get the height of my powers, I could get by relatively well and like maintain friendships and with people who didn't speak any English and be able to converse and hold my own. And like since leaving though, which is about 10 years ago, it's gone. My comprehension's in the toilet. My ability to speak, again, to sound like if someone can give me a script and be like, say these words, here's what they mean. I think I can do a decent facsimile of like actual fluent Japanese. But that was okay. Not great, but okay.
Where did you live in Japan?
I lived in a prefecture, which I think is what they have. It's just states prefecture called Niigata. So it was in. How I tell north, south, east, and west is very embarrassing. I go, never eat shredded wheat, and then I know that west is the way. West Japan, I think. Or there was something funky with how they did the maps and that it was actually East Japan, but it's still on the west side, but it's right by the coast. And I lived in a town at the very bottom of it called Itoigawa, which was just lovely.
Yeah. I don't want to shock you, but Japan is covered by coasts. That helps in.
Edit this out. Edit that last bit out, please. Can we have that edited out?
Every direction is.
Thanks very much, guys. No! I was on the west coast.
You lived in Ireland.
We have coastlines there too.
Northern coast, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, this is not looking great for me.
Anyway, moving past that geography challenge there, we're not giving you maps, that's for sure.
Please, well, you can, if you show me the map, I can look at it and be like, hey, there it goes.
So what's with the T-Rex and the shark going on back there?
I got these in.
I thought those were way bigger and further away.
No. I got these a while back in just in like a joke shop or something. I thought they were really cool because you can like do these really stupid looking faces. And I did some TikTok stuff with them. So the shark sounds like if I get out of the camera now. And you can I love this face. What are you doing? Get out of here! And the T-Rex is just exactly the same. This guy makes the best faces.
T-Rex is a little too strung together.
Yeah. Hold on. I think the T-Rex is he looks better. He's got a better design. This was a professional purchase, everyone. I needed this for work. His bite is all so fucked when I was in there.
Has the largest underbite.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. What everybody doing? Having a good day? Hell yeah! I used to do puppetry. I used to work for a street theater company where we do some puppetry, and I learned that it's all in the thumb because you want the puppet to be looking at the camera. So if you're doing this, I'm not looking at the camera, my eyes are back here. But if I'm doing this, then I'm looking at you. But that's really hard to maintain, you see. This is my favorite thing to
So
see.
your thumb just gets absolutely mashed.
Yeah, I could, that's about the most I can do it now, is just like, goddamn. Same with playing guitar. I realized the other day, it's like, oh, I'm so out of practice that like I'll do one thing that I could do very easily a few years ago. And now it's like, my goodness gracious. All down here gets like numb. It's like, oh, that's where the muscles are that control these. Okay. I can feel
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, like as you have to do voice things to warm your throat, there's like, you know, authors have like all the stretchy bands and stuff, and you just see people just like they're going like this, just being like, yeah, what's that? It's preventing my tendonitis. Don't mind me. It's okay.
typing. Have you ever watched Dragon Ball? The lead character Goku. I've never watched it, but apparently there's a part where he's like, some guy wants to fight Goku. Goku's like, okay. And he was beating Goku or whatever, and he's like, okay, we'll fight then. And Goku takes his training gear off, and they were like, one guy tried to take the top off him, and it was like 100 kilograms. And it turned out Goku had been training with like hundreds of kilograms worth of clothing on top of him. And then he was just like, now let's go. And just ends the guy.
Yeah.
Do you type with those on, then you take them off, and it's like,
I don't know about that. There's a lot of spelling mistakes. You get to a certain point, you're like, this will be a thing.
hey man, ask my proofers what they think about my speaking, and they'll just be like, hey, he makes a ton of mistakes, does Gary?
Okay, so is it your brother that does your proofing or your mastering?
Yeah, he does both.
Yeah. Brotherly love.
Pretty sure he hates my voice at this point. And he's just like, Gary. One of the ones I continue to make is if the sentence is like, he put his elbows on his knees. Almost without fail, I say eyebrows. And it's just like, he put his eyebrows...
He puts his eyebrows
on his knees. His own knees. And it's like, I don't hear it coming out. Doesn't strike me as strange to put one's eyebrows upon one's knees.
It just creeps in. It goes for
yeah.
it. What was the first LitRPG that you narrated?
That's a great question. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like one of the ones that sticks out was They Called Me Mad by J-Pal. I think that was the first book I ever did through Athon. And it was because another narrator, Neil Helliger's, recommended me to them because it needed a British accent. And I had done some books in a British accent, and I think that was one of them. I did like the Builder series for Jay Cipriano. That was a long time ago. We are done that one. That one's done. That was probably one of the very first ones. Yeah, a while back.
Shout out to Neil. Neil is awesome.
Oh, he's brilliant, yeah. I did was it LitRPG Con? Or was it Jordan Con? Anyway, he ran a Shakespeare, like, kind of not improv, but it was like a Shakespeare...
He did one in both. I know he did one for sure in Jordan Con.
Yeah. Well, whichever one I did, it was really brilliant. Very, like, you may not understand the sentence you've been handed, but, like, we can assess the meaning of it, and we can then use it in a sentence, and like, all about, like, interpreting language and how... Just, it was very, very good. I learned a lot, and learning from him, he's a great teacher. I take any class he runs. What was I going to say? You in writing LitRPG, what made you want to go into that genre, or to even start writing? And was that your first writing endeavor, LitRPG, or did you try other genres and decide and kind of fell into LitRPG and decided that was where you wanted to stay?
Yeah, like, I started in science fiction. Do not know when. I think it's like 10, 12 years ago now.
Right.
But yeah, did science fiction. That was fun. And then I wrote a really, like, realistic military science fiction, which means that, everyone's dying. It's pretty realistic and terrible and all this. And I was like, okay, I need to go read something. And Awaken Online came up, Ascend Online came up, and then Land came up, and I started reading those. And I was like, these are cool. I don't have anything to write. Let's write something like this. And I was like, okay, let's go do that. And I think what's interesting with LitRPG and science fiction is this very, like, rules of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like for physics and such, right? If you have science fiction, we've got to have how we're moving throughout this star system. I see it faster than light, sublight.
Right, yeah.
What's our ways to communicate? And that's your rules that you play within. And then LitRPG is the same. It's like, what's the rules of the world? And then how do I play within that? And yeah, that was Amarillo, which that was a lot of writing. And then was like, cool, let's go write more stuff.
Judging from what you've just said, would you say you're more of a plotter than a pantser, or somewhere kind of in the middle where one plots and then pantses through the plot they've made? Or not none of the above?
I would say I'm systems first
Okay.
and then pantster.
All right, so you and am I right in saying then so you like to know the rules of your world first and then be like, well, I know the framework of the world, so I can write anything within this world because of that.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
it's like, like usually what happens is I get a scene, I work from that scene, and I go, okay, how do we make the things in the scene actually work or build up to that? Because usually
Okay.
it's not like a beginning scene, it's like midway or somewhere. And I go, okay, like how do we make that actually function? And that's fun.
Then a question I
And
have
here,
for you, is that how restarting the apocalypse began for you? Because the first scene in the first book really it's like you're in the thick of it. Shit's going. I know that's how the story starts, but it is like a very high octane scene with a ton of
mhm.
history before it that we, as the reader, don't know yet. Did that happen with that book, or was it a more like, no, I've got this idea and I'm going to go from there?
So in the apocalypse, because it's regression, it's really hard to pick out which point to begin it at and also what to show because you want to show parts, but you
Hmm.
can't show all. If you
Yeah.
show all of it, then you kind of take away some of the oh, hey, this is coming up stuff. So you have to like it's a pretty short scene, but I will say that there is an entire history of Len and Rick up to the point that we see them. So I have the history of they do this first life. I have that entire history just because then I have that as a reference point of as I go along and they're like, oh, we're going to this country. Oh, well, you did this in this country. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Whoops. Do we want to do that again? Yes, but like this time, let's not get caught. And we know how we got caught last time. And if they get caught again, they're just going to be like, shit, we need to stop doing this. But to make sure that I have those parts, because like even if you are a pantser, if you're going for a long book or a long series, it's always good to write down notes of who's the characters, where are they located, that kind of stuff, because you
Yeah.
easily forget it, right? Like, do you do character sheets?
I sometimes ask authors for character sheets. Yeah. And I once I voice a character for the first time, I'll take five if I can get more than 5 seconds, brilliant, of them speaking, and I'll put it into a folder. And that's my like character voice Bible. So like if I'm on book
Mm,
18 or book 50 or whatever, and a character in book 6 comes up, I just if as long as their name is in that folder, I can be like, okay, remember exactly
yeah.
how they sounded, and I can go right back into it.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I guess that also leans into that mimicry you were talking about with the accents and such. Is it easy for you to change between accents now, or is it like,
I do I find it easy, but only just because I think I was an annoying child. I'm an annoying adult as well, but like I would mimic a lot, and I enjoyed speaking in other accents. There was a point at which I remember like vividly in university auditioning for a thing and asking like, "Can I please do an accent?" I almost not knowing how to act in my own voice, which I've since
"Mm,
gotten over. But like I was like, "Shit, do I need to be in another accent to be a halfway decent actor?" But no, I enjoy it a lot, just switching between accents and living in an accent. Unless it's Australian and then I have to go to British because I will get stuck in Australian. And I don't, it's the one that's just like, yeah, dude, you're not narrating British today. You're being Australian, that is it. And I don't understand why it happens with that accent, but it does. And it's led to some embarrassing live directed sessions with an Australian director. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude, do the other accent. I don't know why it's not coming out.
he's just like, stop. And you're like, could you stop, please?
Yeah,
Like,
how
can
about
you,
you stop?
like, yeah, you're not helping here, man. Your accent's throwing off my accent. But like, I guess you've gone through so many like different systems, different stories, and also like the changes in lit RPG, right? Like going from like a lot of people say, oh well, it used to be VR and now it's kind of exploded everywhere. But I think it's just it's exploded everywhere. Like nothing is safe anymore. Everything will be written.
Right, yeah. I suppose this is more if we were given advice to a writer or someone who wants to get into LitRPG, how would you advise them to like start, given what systems are popular now? Or would you say like, no, do you like VR? Yeah, it's not maybe the most trending topic at the moment, but go write a VR lit RPG, see how it does, and if you want to write, I don't know, System of Apocalypse or a regression fantasy, do it later, but like cut your teeth on the genre or the subgenre you're happiest with.
It's always an interesting one because I was talking about this. You kind of need to fuck up a little bit
Hmm.
because then you know, okay, let's not do that again. Because I think it's really good to just like it's study, right? Study what you want to write and why you want to write it. Get so entrenched and entombed in that that you're like, oh, I love this, I'm enjoying this, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And most times, authors are built out of spite
Right?
and a need for story. And I don't know if it's a bad thing, but it just is. It's part of the DNA. And I think the DNA is that was a good story, but I wish it did this.
Okay, yeah.
And I have heard that from so many authors where they're like, yeah, like I was reading the story and I really enjoyed it, but I wish that they did this with the characters. And you're like, and then you look around and like, if it was like, Writers Anonymous, you'd just be seeing everyone just be like, same. Just like the
Yeah.
fucking hands come up. Yeah. And it nearly all the time is just like, oh well, like I know someone that I'm not gonna name them who was like, everyone was doing it wrong. And it frustrated me so much that I just started writing this book and then it did really well. And then I was terrified because it was doing really well and I didn't know what to do with it.
God,
And I was
yeah.
like, okay, so you wrote yourself into a hole. They're like, I did the exact thing that the other people did. And I didn't want to do that. So I had to stop that and go write something else completely. And I was like, but you gotta like go have fun, enjoy it, then see what's working in the genre, what
Right.
works for you, and then make a mix of that.
And get the middle of that Venn diagram.
Yeah. Because it now, some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. And I think like, the people who have done this for 10 years are just like you talk to them and they're like, I will die writing. It's like there is no end of the game. It's just keep rolling the dice, keep playing the game. And it's just a love of craft.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like a lot of narrators feel similarly because it's
Mhm.
just like, I don't know. A lot of people will be like working to retirement. Like, I can't wait to reach retirement. Can't wait to get there. But it's like,
Mm.
I don't know, man. At retirement age, I kind of hope I can still do this. Like, it's an awful lot of fun. You get to, God, like just as a narrator and as an actor, like the breadth of stuff you get to do in audiobooks is insane. Like,
Mhm.
you cast any of the books I've done as movies. I'm not the lead in any of those movies on screen, but with voice and like using your vocal range and just acting just for audio, you really can get to stretch out and get better like so much faster in so many more areas. And like, I don't know, it's to me definitely the best way to do acting, for me at least. Like, you get your every version of the story. It's like you're telling it as a narrator. You're being the people doing the stuff, and you have to do that effectively on all fronts. And it's difficult, but it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
I now I like okay. I think that okay, lit RPG is interesting for a very technical aspect on the writing side because it use a lot of different things. Because lit RPG is an amalgamation of different things, right? Coming
Oh yeah,
together. And as a narrator, do you find that as well? Because if lit RPG being so diverse in the ways it is, like, you can be a cat, right?
absolutely.
And a person at the same time, and you can have different accents all over the place. You can have multiple casts, you can have
Yeah,
different systems, So it's not only just like if you have a system, it's like a second narrator.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that has to be a character in and of itself. And it really, you kind of can't just be like, well, I have a computer AI voice that I use for every book. you kind of have to sometimes listen to it and be like, well, is this AI more snarky, or are they funny, or are they secretly like another being that got, I don't know, punished, is now an AI, and that comes through in the way they speak to the player. So yeah, you gotta take it on a case by case basis, and that's where I love doing author input. Be like, hey, is this just a computer, or like should I do something else? So it's a lot of fun to get to play around in those environments.
Getting all the secrets though behind the scenes, because like
Yeah.
you get like all the information beforehand. You also get all the spoilers. Is
Yes.
that fun, or is that like, ooh, secret time? Or is it like, ah, I kind of wish I found that out in the story as I went?
I need to know the spoilers personally, and
You're,
not just for my curiosity about the story.
you're, you're a terrible TV watcher.
No,
Yeah.
for TV, I hate it. Don't ever spoil a TV show for me. But like when, for the purposes of behind the scenes narration, it's like, okay, if that scary voice in chapter 1 is the big bad, and the big bad is your best friend, you gotta tell me. Because if I'm doing, I am the scary British voice, and your best friend is this guy here, it's like, oh no, they don't match at all. So I kind of would like, for the narrator wants to know the spoilers, the reader does not. But I need to know them for the best prep. Or if like we're on book 1 and the author's like, hey, in book 7, we're going to find XYZ out about character B in book 1. So keep that in mind. I love that.
I also, yeah, I guess it's kind of interesting because as a pantster goes, they don't know themselves, which can be great, but it can also be like,
I had one situation once where a race of species was given, I gave them an accent in book 1. Brilliant. Sounded good. Everyone was happy. Great. In book 2, they said a sentence that gave the race I had given one accent to a completely different accent. But there was like, I can't go back to book 1 and change, and like, because that was X races really heavily featured in that book. They don't in book 2. But you've just said they were not the accent I did. So to fix it, we did say some of X race sounds German or whatever. But some of them sound like the way we did it in book 1. Right. So I don't think at the time the author necessarily knew what accent they wanted to give. And then in book 2, we're like, actually, hey, yeah, let's do some world building. And it was unfortunate, but we made it work. And I don't think anyone minded. So it was all good.
there is sometimes like you're going through stuff and you're like, they're definitely going to know about this. Everyone's going to know about this. This isn't going to hit the way I want it to hit. And then people are like, this is amazing, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, ah, well, yeah, we pulled that one off. That's great. I think we're done for today. That's a good wrap.
Have you, and we have to finish up soonish, have you ever written a character that you thought would be a fan favorite, only to have some other character, some throwaway character you were like, I don't want to like this person, and everyone be like, oh my god, I love person you did not expect to be super popular?
The classic cardboard cutout. Well, there's the story of Rugrat. Rugrat didn't show up until book 3 in the Ten
Okay.
Realms, and then basically Rugrat is character number 2 in Ten Realms. So I had to rewrite 3 books. I had just basically binned them all, and then I started again to add Rugrat in. The scene was he rode in on something flying, and he was riding it like he was in a rodeo on the back of this thing wearing an American flag short shorts and holding like his hat up like he was in a rodeo.
Right,
And I
yeah.
was just like, that man's gonna have to be in book 1. And I just deleted everything that had happened so far. I was like, okay, start that again.
Must be a little bit soul crushing, but also like, it's the right thing.
It's like using sandpaper to go to the bathroom.
And on that, let's end this beautiful conversation. Sandpaper went to the bathroom. One last thing, Restarting the Apocalypse, Against Ruins Fate, Book 2 of Restarting the Apocalypse is out now on audio and print.
Yeah.
You can also go to Chatfield's Patreon for future early access to books. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, so we got book 3 up, and I think we're getting 4 in a little bit.
We've got to go join. Go do it. Any last words for the devoted public that are listening to us before we go?
Thanks for sticking around for 10 years. It's been a heck of a trip. It's like when joining LitRPG, I came from science fiction. there wasn't a massive community. There wasn't as many groups. People weren't as connected as they are. Behind the scenes, like LitRPG authors, narrators, artists, everyone is just it's a thriving community. It's helped support so many things. We've got LitRPG Com. We've gone into different conventions across the world. And it's incredible what this community has done. And this community has been made for the readers, for the listeners, for everyone that consumes the content. And they have allowed us to do everything that we've done here. So I hope you all enjoy your GuildFiCon, your 10 years of doing awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And let's have another 10 years of awesome stuff.
Beautifully
Because
said.
I don't want to stop writing.
Yeah, I don't want to stop narrating either. So yeah, please, let's all continue doing this. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone, for stopping by. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.